Skuta Baba Funa. Oh, uh, it's difficult to go through social media and you see an AKA post without being emotional because of what he meant to his country and how proud he was to represent his country. We saw it in his beefs on Twitter and yeah, but let me do this video justice by talking about the Skuta Baba remixes. Okay, the other thing is the one thing that Spotify does well is show the numbers of streams and whatnot. I don't know why Apple Music is not doing that, but or maybe I haven't found it yet. But Skuta Baba took over. I think it took a bit of time for it to commercialize and stuff like that. It's Woodblock DJs. The initial track is currently on 3 million streams, I think, based on what I'm seeing on Spotify. Skuta Baba remix, which is like star-studded. There's like Kane Keed, there's Tony Daimani, there's Casper Nyovest, there's Questa, uh, and a few that I'm forgetting to mention. But obviously, with that kind of star power, that kind of firepower, it obviously goes really high. And so I was just thinking how it was a moment in hip hop because Amapiano is the biggest thing for the past, I don't know, 7, 8 years. It could be more. And unlike other music markets in the world, in SA, as an artist, you are in this weird space where if you don't hop onto whatever's trending, you're not gonna eat. Take it from someone who almost became a financial advisor. One day you're gonna retire. Take it from someone who's on social media and you see people putting up their cards because the money dries out. You don't really budget accordingly because I mean, if you watch the show called I Blew It, people are under this false sense of security that think money's not gonna run out, and it's such a crazy concept. It dabbles into education and poverty and yada yada yada, but mostly like with artists, you see people that are just splurging left, right, and center, and then once you start becoming irrelevant, then it's like, what else are you doing for money, or what can you do for money without sticking your hand out so that people can help you out? Back to it. So in SA, like I said, the music market is different. So whatever is trending, you need to find a way to infuse your vibe into whatever's trending so you can eat pretty much. We don't have the luxury of hip hop being dominating for a really, really long time, even though other genres come in, then hip hop can just continue to live. However, the late great AKA laid out a blueprint on how to survive this climate. I'm not really sure why a lot of artists are not taking note. Yes, there will be people that jump from one genre to another, which is fine. I used to have beef with that, but then I just explained why people are doing it and should do it actually. Because as a fan, I'm always going to criticize, but when those bills come through, you're the one that has to face it. With that being said, if we look into Mass Country, right, there's a track called Lemonade, which was the biggest song in 2023 or 24, not too sure. It was heavily influenced by Amapiano because of the log drum. There's a track called Amapiano, which pays homage to Amapiano. There's a track called Everest, which is heavily influenced by Amapiano. There's also the log drum in there. And that's kind of AKA saying Amapiano is so big that we're only gonna have more moments in hip hop, and this is how you survive the climate. This is how you continue to stay true to who you are without sacrificing your craft or your integrity or your originality or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people are not taking note of that, which brings me to Skuta Baba, which I think a lot of hip hop artists should follow suit because that's how you take out hits. You infuse the log drum without sacrificing your art form. And the woodblock DJs took advantage of this. I think it was like, I don't know if it was hip hop song of the year or whatever, but it won something big at the metros. And they released a Skuta Baba remix pack. And I'm not too sure how I feel about it because there's this thing called recency bias. For example, the initial one that was dropped was okay, and then the remix of remixes was dropped, which was incredible. The visuals were great, the verses were insane, and everyone just came to the party. Pound for pound, it was probably the biggest moment hip hop has ever had in a very long time. Outside the hip hop staples, your A-Reeses, your Nasty C's, your Kane Kids, your Tony Diamanis, your Blackies, and whatnot. Uh, so getting into the remixes, right? The Pitori remix was pretty cool because I don't know, man. Pitori is a country that the guys are pushing. It's a new twist into hip hop that the world needs to hear. This is South Africa, precisely, particularly Pretoria, interpreting hip hop according to their surroundings. The Durban remix, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know if in the initial remix the bar was so high that everything else had to just blow everything else out of the water, or else it's just a remix that needed to be done because the song has traction, and how else can we milk this cow? It kind of felt like that. The OG's remix was okay as well. I thought it could have been stronger, but that's neither here nor there. And the Come Up remix as well was, I thought the people that are up and coming could have done maybe a better job of establishing themselves or saying or announcing that they arrived. And we'll talk about how some of the OGs in the remix are not OGs, but that's neither here nor there. And I think those are the ones. Yeah, OGs Come Up, Durban, and Pitori. I would go the initial remix number one. I'd go the Pitori remix number two. I'd go the OGs remix number three. I'd go the Durban remix number four, and I'd go the Come Up remix number five. And we need more of these moments in hip hop so that it can shine a light on hip hop again. Again, hip hop is not dead. It's just that Amapiano is so good for SA and it's so big that it can be translated. I'm not sure why a lot of artists are not doing this. You can have R&B and Amapiano. You can have gospel with Amapiano. You can have, yeah, the possibilities are endless. And maybe it's time people stop going with the wind and break new ground so that you can open up yourself for new opportunities and a new subgenre. And I mean, if you fail, you can always go back to the drawing board and bet on yourself. But that's the remix pack. Let me know what you guys thought about that. Peace.